And as you continue to stain this over the next couple of years, the wood will become more and more saturated, which adds to the protection, but it'll retain this golden color. Well, good afternoon or early evening. Welcome to Rolling Hills Farm. You can tell by the wind, which I'm sure you can hear, I can feel. We've got a little bit of a storm blowing through. They're talking 5 to 9 inches of snow tonight and 40-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm guessing we've got certainly 25, 30 miles an hour. It's breezy out here. Not much snow yet, but it's blowing around a lot. But we'll be back in the morning and see what it looks like then. Well, as you can see, we got snow, but not nearly as much as forecast. I'd say maybe 3 inches. It's later in the morning. Wind has died down, so I'm going to go out and got the tractor started, plow snow, and then I'll be back in the shop to work on that wagon project. That's the project that starts today. Tearing off the old deck on this wagon, checking underneath to make sure the lumber, the base lumber, the beams are good, and putting on a new deck of ash wood, logged and milled from here on Rolling Hills Farm. So the top of this wagon is constructed out of tamarack wood, 1x6 boards on top of 4x4 beams. The sides are actually scrap steel, pipe and rebar that I welded together to make this wagon, 15 years or so ago. I built this door on the side for unloading. It allows you to pull up to the elevator and pull the load right out from here. And it works great. The problem, of course, is like all 3 of our wagons, it sits out in the weather all year round, and that results in deterioration on the deck. The running gear is a 6-ton Oliver running gear. It's got pretty good tires. It's kind of small, but sufficient for loads of square bales. And you can see it's got the original beams underneath, and one of the important things we're going to need to assess is, are they in good shape? Do they need replacing? Same with the 4x4 cross members, some of which were replaced in the last rebuild, and some are the originals that came on this wagon. The metal sides were a little heavier than I remembered, so I recruited Dawn and neighbor Greg to help.
I got it.
Wait 1 second, just leave it right where it is.
Oh, but you're... It's heavy though. Am I gonna go through the floor?
You might walk through your step. Just walk through your step. Just go to the
Stay on.
I can feel the mush.
Yeah, but step further back and you'll be fine.
Mush is bad.
Yeah. That baby's heavy.
Then with Greg and his grandson Axel, we got to work pulling boards. Where we can see the beams. So you can see, even though we wrapped these with tar paper when we built this 15 years ago, that 4x4 is shot. This one appears to be acceptable, but this split 2x4 or double 2x4 is completely shot. This one's shot. And that one's questionable. But the beams look brand new under here. These are the original beams from this hay wagon, probably a 1960s hay wagon. Originally had wooden sides, but we need new 4x4s all the way across. There. Rotten 4x4s gone. Time to put the new 4x4s on and start reassembling. We drilled and bolted the 4x4s to metal brackets that come up off the long beams. And we retained the 4 safety chains, one on each corner, that we had added years ago. We added 1/2-inch bolts securing the runners to the actual uprights on the wagon frame. These bolts were only on one of the 4 corners. And for extra protection, light metal is put atop each of the 4x4s. It's actually roof flashing. It gets nailed in place with roofing nails. This will protect from the chaff that inevitably is going to get between the cracks in the floorboards and then weather out in the rain, where you might see deterioration and rot. So there is the first board cut to fit. 1/2-inch overhang on the front, overhang along the edge, and we'll splice another one in there. Okay, you should see my mark over there. Perfect. There. The deck is in place. All screwed on. And now we're ready to put the sidewalls up. Once again, it took 3 of us to lift the large sections up onto the wagon deck and stand them up so they could be bolted together against each other and held in place. Each section is held at the back corner by 4 large bolts, and then long bolts are drilled through the metal sections and the 4x4s, locking the metal to the bed. The structural integrity of these wagons is critical because we're frequently working on steep hillsides. They get towed behind our 336 baler while we're doing hay and sometimes straw, and we often have a person in the wagon stacking them very full so they can get top-headed. There. The entire back wall is primed, inside and outside. Gonna let it dry 24 hours and paint this tomorrow. All right, barn red paint. Let's get painting. Now we're gonna let that dry, and then the last step, oiling this bed. And that's what we're gonna be rolling on today. Used hydraulic oil. And you want to put it on fairly heavy. I've got lots of this quality clean but used drain oil, hydraulic oil. And so it's just going to absorb into this wood, and over time the wood will remain saturated. When it sits out in the sun every summer, this wood's going to dry out a little bit. So I'll put a coat of this on the manure spreader and the 2 wagons again in the spring, and so it's got plenty of time to absorb before haying season. And then it's one of the last things I do in the fall is to reseal this wood. There, most of the way across. Now you see the golden color of this stain. And it's taking a little more stain this first time than it will when I do it again in the spring. And that's because this wood is still absorbing. You can see along the edges, it's just starting to seep down there. That brings this project to a close. It's going to dry for a day, and then we'll put it back outside, and this wagon will be functional again. That gets us back to 3 thrower racks for this summer, which we use, especially when we're short of labor. I hope this project was interesting to you. It was, you know, it's how we do it, and it's been over a lot of years. We've done these wagons. Well, these have, at least 2 of the 3 have been redone twice now. Thanks for watching. We've got now, as the shop opens up here, a lot more wintertime shop projects to come. We've got some pretty significant tractor repairs. We'll be back with all that soon. We'll see you then.